Welcome back to Ghosted, where we turn the quiet of grief into stories worth shouting. Today I'm here with
Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
All right, Danny, who ghosted you?
My brother Jacob ghosted me a little over 3 years ago, like 3.25 years ago. He was 24 and I was 26, and he had the audacity to die of like an incredibly rare sarcoma of which there is no cure.
Of course,
Like,
Jacob.
sure, whatever.
When did he get diagnosed?
So he was actually diagnosed when he was 14. He had
Mhm.
primary ocular melanoma, so he had cancer behind his right eye.
Interesting.
He got it removed. He was totally fine. He was in remission for 10 years, like 10 years exactly, almost. And then he like wasn't feeling great, like went to a few doctors. Everyone's like, "You're tired," or like whatever. And then he went to the ER and they were like, "No, there's like something wrong." So he was living in New York, he came back home and he went to his oncologist at MGH. Shout out oncology at MGH. You guys are really good. Except for like this thing wasn't your fault. And
Cancer tends to not be their fault, but
it's like not their fault. Like they did their best. And basically he had like a ton of tumors. So the way that this sarcoma works is that it metastasizes from melanoma,
Mhm.
and it basically is an invisible 10-year time bomb.
So
Which
crazy.
is
My dad also died of melanoma.
That's crazy. It's like people are like so chill about it, and I'm like over here like wearing sunscreen, not going outside.
Correct. And like I have such fair skin, like I burn so easy. I'm like, fuck dad. Like you gave me that genetic.
I know, it's crazy. It's just like so basically it like metastasizes like silently over 10 years. Like he was getting scanned super regularly, like nothing was showing up. And
Hmm.
then he was diagnosed at the end of June of 2022 and he died on August 8th of 2022. So it was about 6 weeks from his diagnosis to when he died.
My dad's death anniversary is August 10th.
Oh my God. It's like I feel like
August is a fun month.
one of those months. That's why I go. People are like, why do you go to Georgia camp? I'm also an ex camps girl. If it
Shout out
isn't
X
in the
Camps.
description, and people
Yeah.
are like, why do you go to Georgia camp? And I was like, because at that point in time, it was the only one that didn't overlap with August 8th at all. And I was like,
Hmm.
I can't be there for the kids if I'm like in that date.
Yeah.
So now I just go to the early one and fly
I
down.
love that.
Yeah.
Do you remember growing up and him getting treatment? Like, I assume he
Oh
got
yeah.
treatment for the original cancer. Because was it the same cancer or he just got metastatic melanoma 10 years later?
So it was technically the same,
Got it.
but different. It's like very rare and confusing. But yeah,
Hmm.
I was 16. Like we were both in high school.
Hmm.
Um, and like I remember the surgery and like he didn't have to go through chemo, which was super lucky.
Mm.
He just got the surgery and then they were like, "Oh, we got it all." And like they did.
Right.
And so I remember like the surgery and he had a prosthetic eye. Um, which was like a super interesting thing to learn about as a 16-year-old of like how to clean a prosthetic and stuff.
That is so interesting.
But I remember it super vividly because we had like all the same friends, we did all the same extracurricular activities, and I remember that he was going to be like out of theater rehearsals. Oh, he was in 8th grade. Yeah. He was going to be out of theater rehearsals for like 2 weeks. And so I like went and like picked up his stuff from his like community theater teacher or whatever. And
Cute.
they were like, "I hope your brother feels better." And I was like, I like can't articulate this as like a 16-year-old who like
Right.
deeply cares about her brother, but also simultaneously was like, "You are getting so much attention right now." Which is like so terrible, but
But
honestly,
you were a child.
so accurate. I was a child, and my therapist is aware of this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you were going to. It is so interesting though, like thinking back to how we acted as kids, like especially with like traumatic things. Like you don't know anything,
Yeah, people were like, "Oh my God, like, are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine." Like, honestly, like,
right?
we got to eat a lot of pizza for dinner for a while, and like that seemed like cool to
Right.
me. So
Do you remember how your brother was with the diagnosis?
he, I think, was like trying to be like so cavalier
Mm.
about it and like didn't really reference it. Like he didn't reference like ever that he was sick.
Hmm.
It's so interesting because I remember we were doing a show together in high school and he had to do like he was a dancer. He like went to school for musical theater and all of that. And
That's
he
so
was
cool.
doing spins and like his prosthetic like came out of his face and like he just like covered like he like used a hand to like cover his eye and he just like kept doing it. It was the Drowsy Chaperone. That's what it was. And I like went and like retrieved it off the side of the stage. But like if he had to like if somebody was like, oh, like do you have a disability or whatever, like he would have never said that he had a disability or like any of that, even though he was half blind.
Hmm.
And, like he still drove. He was a better
Right.
driver than I am. Like embarrassing. But I think he just like didn't want to let it like affect him so much to the point where he was like, this actually isn't a part of my identity because it isn't supposed to be. I guess when you're 14 and you survive childhood cancer, you're like, it either is 100% of your identity or it's 0%. And I guess it's the same with like intimate grief. Is like
Hmm.
we've decided to make it our identity.
Correct.
I was literally saying to my therapist today, like literally a few hours ago, I was like, my brother would be so embarrassed if he knew that like 80% of my personality was like talking to other sad adults. He'd be like, you have to find something better to do with your time.
Okay, but he like lives on in every sense of the word because of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like leave him voice notes. Like we do voice memos. So,
You're kidding still?
yeah, oh, yeah. I
Wait, explain this to me.
so every time I want to call him and tell him something on the phone, I just like make a voice note.
That is so interesting.
I
I
cannot take
think that's
it. I did
sweet.
see it on TikTok, but
Wait, so if you ever want to talk to your brother,
yeah.
you decide, obviously you have his phone number, and
No, I don't. So his phone number doesn't like exist any. Like it, we
so
shut
where
it
do you leave the voice memos? Just
in the
like,
voice notes app, just like on my phone.
stop. That's actually really sweet.
Like I'm just like would know like because so he worked off Broadway before he died,
He's
and
so cool.
he's so fucking cool. Oh, sorry, can I swear on
Damn.
you?
Oh, I swear all the time.
Okay, great. He was so fucking cool. Like he was an artist. Like his art Instagram is still up. Um, and all this stuff. And so because he worked such a wacky schedule, we would just mostly send voice notes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so now just like my voice memo app and also like the videos in my camera roll is just half like me being like, hey, so your best friend from college, I just watched her like run the New York Marathon and like you would truly think she's sick in the head. So I do need to tell you this.
Wait, I am obsessed with this.
It feels very cathartic as like a person who hates journaling, like to my core.
Yeah.
Because like I know myself. I'm gonna write something really sad and then just like keep going back and looking at it and just making myself
Mm-hmm.
better.
Mm-hmm.
So this I have found is like a really cool alternative to journaling where I can still like tell him what's going on without feeling super morose about it.
I love that. Wait, what else do you do? These are such interesting like coping mechanisms that I think are so unique in a healthy way.
Yeah. I mean, so I host a dinner party table, which is great. Highly recommend them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just like being able to like talk about like my feelings with other grieving adults who are grieving siblings is super cool. Um, but a big thing is, yeah, the voice notes is like I think the biggest part of how like I process that he isn't still like around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm able to like have a full conversation like with myself, but to him.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a lot about the Wicked movie over like the last few
Would
months.
he be obsessed?
He'd be so obsessed, but he would also be really upset that nobody's talking about the Todrick Hall Pentatonics collab of like riffs on like Wicked and the Wizard of Oz that came out in like 2011. He'd be
He's
just
like an OG. Got
not
it.
in the zeitgeist.
Right, right, right. I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I'd like to think he's watching somewhere.
He is, and I think he would be impressed with the movie. It's, like,
I
so
mean,
weird that
come on,
he, like,
who's
missed
not?
all of it.
Isn't it crazy to think, like, my dad's been dead 18 years, but even in 3.5 years, like, the amount that has happened in the
Like,
world, in pop culture, in your own life, it's just crazy.
he never got to watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I think that's devastating.
Wait, what else do you think he would hate that he missed?
I mean, the fact that I'm engaged is probably, like, a huge one. Because I
Wait, did
just
he meet your partner?
yes, he knew my partner. He really liked him. Like, one of,
Mhm.
like, the last, like, full conversations we ever had was, like, how much he loved my partner.
That's
Um,
lovely that you have
and that
that.
was really good. That felt like good closure in that because I was like, well, if you, like, hated him, then I would, like, be stressed. But also to my like, in my partner's like my partner and I'd only been dating for 6 months when my brother got diagnosed.
How
And
was dealing with that?
basically, my dad was like, "This is gonna be really terrible. Like, you need to be prepared." And
Mhm.
Will, to the credit of the man that he is, who is, like, hiding in his office on the other side of the apartment right now with his
Hi,
headphones
Will.
on to give me privacy, like, no, I'm, like, fully in. And he was immediately fully in from the jump. Like, he has always been so invested in, like, my family and all of this. He ran the Boston Marathon for Impact Melanoma.
That's so beautiful.
It was so lovely to, like, be able to have that kind of support in a partner, especially a new partner,
Mhm.
because we were, like, sitting on the floor of, like, the waiting room. There wasn't even a waiting room at the ICU at that point in 2022 because they were, like, just starting to open things up again. It's, like,
Mhm.
literally sitting on the floor in the hallway outside the
Oh
ICU.
my god. But you guys got the chance to go to the hospital?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was in the room when my brother died.
Mhm.
Um,
Are you
Will
happy you were there, or was that difficult?
both?
Yeah.
Um,
Correct
I
answer.
I'm very grateful that I got to be there. I'm very grateful for the MGH ICU staff that they are so incredible, especially on the cardiac floor, that they turned off all of the machines a few hours before, so we didn't have that noise and that beeping, and like they have staff on hand. I think it's so much different than if somebody dies in an emergency room or at
Right.
home. Like you don't have that staff. Like there was two social workers there. Like there was so much medical staff. Like my brother's oncologist was there. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of people. It was very overwhelming. But I don't think I would have been able to process it as well as I have if I wasn't in the room when he died.
Fair.
So a lot of EMDR, a lot of trauma therapy. But like I think trauma also is like what makes us more empathetic people. Um I think
Could
that
not agree more.
it fun like witnessing that like fundamentally changes like you at a fundamental like DNA level.
Mhm.
But I think it's so important to be able to like recognize that like my parents and I have this like really I mean like obviously like the whole time we were there together, but like we were all there together, and I think that was super important. Like, I've never been closer to my parents than in the last 3.5 years.
Was it just you and your brother?
Yeah. Yeah, so he was 18 months younger than me. It's just the two of
And
us.
you were always, like, like, you seem like you're best friends.
We were best friends. We also hated each other.
I mean, is that not siblings?
It is siblings. It's
No,
also,
just kidding. I'm actually obsessed with my brother, but
but it's like so close in age,
you
all
are
the same activities.
so close. Like,
My mother also had melanoma when we were growing up, so like we dealt with that together. So like we basically lived like very parallel lives until I went to college, then he went to college.
mhm.
So it's like except for the whole like, cancer thing. Um that
Just threw a wrench in all of the plans, but aside from that.
annoying. But I think it was like we'd always done like everything together. And like I don't think it would have felt right if I wasn't there to like
Fair.
watch him go to like his next phase of humanity, stardust, whatever vibes
Yeah.
is in the universe. Because I have to believe that there's something, because if not, that's just depressing.
I agree. I'm not really religious, but I believe that there's something. I have to.
Yeah, like I'm not super religious, but I like believe that like the universe is bigger than we are.
It has to be. Because your brother is too big of a personality, clearly. Like, I feel like I already know him to just be nothing, you know?
Oh, no, exactly. And like I think he would be really disappointed if there was nothing.
Fair. How do you introduce yourself now? Because you're not an only child, but like your brother is forever 24 and you're going to grow up.
This is a good one. We did a icebreaker at work a few weeks ago, and it was like the like find a common thread thing. And
Oh,
somebody's like, "Does
no.
everyone have siblings?" And I was like, "Oh no," because I didn't know these people.
That's hard. That's tough.
I know these people. It really depends on my mood.
So, what did you say in that scenario?
So, thankfully, I was like last in the circle, and I was like, "I've been at this job for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people are new. Like my brother died while I was at like my job, like everyone knows. And so I basically said I was like I have a younger brother. He died about 3 years ago. I said so I have a younger brother. He died 3 years ago. I find sibling and family conversation to be something that I'm not super comfortable with at work. Here's a common thread. Does everyone know how to ride a bike? So I kind of I state it as a fact. I don't get emotional about it, like, when I'm just stating it to
Mm-hmm.
especially to people I don't know very well, and then I kind of try to divert the conversation to something else, and because I was like, "I just, like, I don't wanna answer any questions," and I basically am just like, "Hey, this is what it is, but I'm not really interested in exploring it any further with you."
Fair. What
Or
about if you meet like random people? Do you ever like find yourself lying? And like that's so fucked up. We can swear, but like
no,
sometimes it's easier just to be like, yeah or no.
I usually don't mention it.
Fair.
I think it's like my relationship with it has changed over honestly since going to camp. I feel like I owe it to myself, but also honestly I owe it to my campers to be able to like be honest with people.
Agree.
Um, I'm like trying to be the adult for my 15, 16-year-olds that like they necessarily like don't have in their lives.
Right.
And also just like model that grief is a universal experience.
Hmm.
Every single person on this planet will experience intimate loss. Why aren't we talking about it?
Could not agree more. And everyone's so uncomfortable by it.
Oh, people are so weird about it.
And then it ends up making the person who's actually experienced that loss be the one that's uncomfortable in the scenario. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's the one thing that we all have in common as humanity.
Yeah. I said once, I was like, oh, like I have a brother, he passed away a few years ago. And somebody was like, how? And I literally looked at them and I was like, why would you ask me that?
What a crazy response. What about what was his name?
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, that must be really difficult.
Yeah. And
How?
I really don't use like flowery language around it. Like I'm very upfront. I was like, my brother died. I was like, my
Yeah.
brother didn't go to heaven. I didn't lose him. Like
Yeah.
he died. And I
Correct.
think that helps people realize like what the kind of conversation is. Where I'm like, I don't know how to explain it any better than that, my guy. Like
It
he
is what it is.
yeah, and I think it also helps people who have experienced intimate loss to be able to talk to me about it. Like at
You
work.
create a space for that.
Oh yeah. At work, like people have come like asked me if I'm like available to chat about it, or they're like trying to navigate bereavement leave, and like there's no resources on how to do that at any company I've ever worked at. They're just like vibes. So it's been really nice to be able to be a space for people where they can feel like they can talk about it and it's not this like weird crazy taboo subject.
You like being that person?
I like being that person when I am asked like my consent for it, basically.
Fair,
Like,
fair.
everyone that I've spoken to has been really good about like, hey, do you have the time for this or do you have the energy for this? Which is something I really appreciate.
Right. I
Sometimes
think
people
that's
are
fair.
just like, my dad's dead. And I was like, okay, okay,
Right,
cool.
because also, like, you might not be in the headspace to discuss it. Also, like, you're
Yeah.
not the golden spokesperson for grief. Just
No,
because
honestly, that sounds so exhausting.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Has it changed over the past 3.5 years? Like, what's different? Because, like we were saying, a lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I'm definitely over the oh boy, that's a good question. I really try to be more present.
Mm,
Like um I'm a fiber crafts girly. I love a craft. And so like but it's been so nice to be able to do the craft that my late grandmother taught me,
hmm
like needlepoint. Which is great. I honestly really highly recommend it. Everybody's doing it nowadays on TikTok
I know
apparently.
I do want to learn.
I will teach you for
Wait,
sure.
please, can we do like a session?
Yes,
I would
100%.
love.
I would love to do like an interact craft night on Zoom. I think that sounds fun.
Let's do it. Wait, we should also like connect after this because I have so many ideas for like Ghosted in general. And like I want to build a community and like doing stuff like that could
Yeah,
be really like safe for people. And you don't even have to talk about anything, but knowing that people get it.
I love a craft. So I've definitely become just like such more of a mindful person. I was like
Hmm
already a yoga teacher like before all of this.
Cool.
But like I'm reading a lot more. I'm trying to intro like I'm going on like walks without my headphones on. Like I'm not just scrolling on my phone while watching garbage television. I'm needle pointing while watching garbage television.
Exactly.
It's just like I over the last 3 years, I think my growth has definitely been in being able to recognize within myself what I need. Because I
Yeah.
think I was so concerned, especially like I think the combination of COVID and my brother dying, I was just like everything was go, 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 go. And then my world stopped.
Right.
And then when it restarted to restart again, I was like, okay, but like, how do I want to do this? And it's finding community. It's like being at camp and being in the dinner party and like being able to talk to people. I have a lovely group of friends here in Boston. I keep up with my friends in DC. People are like, you're so like, you know, when everyone's birthdays is. I was like, because I just try to take the 30 seconds and like when I see it on Facebook or whatever to just put a reoccurring thing in my calendar.
I'm the same way in
Yeah.
every anniversary. And honestly, to anyone listening that has a friend who's lost someone, take the time to write down the person's they lost birthday and the day that they died. Because you might get to live that day like normal, but forever that day will be tainted. It's such a simple thing. And like so true, like what you said, like connection. Like I feel like losing someone makes you understand the value of community, friendship. Like it's not hard to show up for someone because how lucky are you to have someone to show up for?
Yeah. Every single person I know who have experienced intimate loss is like an incredible villager. Like
That's such a good way of putting it.
we like built this village and it's I mean really experienced camps like built this village of like sad adults.
We're the happiest sad adults ever.
We really are. It's like I've never met a sadder adult who can shake ass to Becky G in my life.
Shake every orifice of your body.
It's both horrifying and incredible. Oh my god. I was like to my fiance, I was like, we're playing that song at our wedding.
Wait, speaking of your wedding, like, are you doing anything for your brother? What's the
Yeah.
planning like? What's going on?
So weddings in September of 2027.
Oh my
It's
God.
on 9/11.
Oh,
I felt really bad about it, but I checked with everybody and nobody had somebody who died that day.
but that's just a crazy day, but no one will forget your anniversary.
No, they won't. It's really bad. It's one of our friends' birthdays too. I was like, well,
Oh,
my brother would think it's so funny.
okay, then I kind of love it then.
So it's like a little iconic.
I mean, it's one of the most iconic days in history, so let's
Truly. We didn't want to do, and no shade to anyone who's listening who's ever done this, but like basically a shrine table.
Mhm.
Like I can't, because it would just be like my grandparents, my fiance's grandparents, my uncle who died in January of this year, um, and my brother. And I was like, he would find that so embarrassing. Like, so far I know what I'm going to do is, so he was a really incredible artist and he drew a lot of like really abstract work. And so I found somebody who can take bits and pieces of different parts of his work and embroider them onto a veil in a way that like looks nice.
That is so wonderful.
Yeah. So that is my current plan because it's special to me and I'll be able to have it forever. So like I plan on like framing it afterwards and
Mhm.
all that stuff to just like always have that. So that's the current plan.
That's beautiful, and the fact that you have all of his art is so incredible.
Yeah, it's hanging in my parents' house, and then I think we have some in our living room.
That's
But
amazing. I love that veil idea, and I think too, like, it's not overt in anyone's face. It's not like, "Hey, we have to be sad today," but also, like, he's with us.
yeah, it's like if you know, you know.
Right.
Because it's really interesting because he died 3 years ago. I met a lot of my friends here after he died. And so
Mhm.
they never knew him. Like
Yeah.
they know him like through like the stories I tell and stuff, but like they never met him because I either became friends with them when he was still living in New York. So he moved down to like start treatment when he got diagnosed and then they were like this treatment is like not gonna do anything. So you can just like go live at my parents' house, I guess. And then but a lot of them I met after. And so they never met him. So I feel like having this, it's like it's for me, it's for my parents, it's for my family, it's for my partner. And just like also I won't have to like look at an empty chair because I
Yeah.
think that would like make me sad.
Yeah, and while it's something he obviously should be there for, you don't have to make the day entirely about him because it is about you and your partner and
Mhm.
celebrating this, like, new chapter of your life.
Yeah, it was really interesting after I got engaged, and I'm sure other people have like felt or like experienced similar things to this. People were like, "Oh, what do you think your brother would do at his wedding?" And I was like, "I don't know." Also, like, why is this a relevant? Why are you asking me? Why is this a relevant question?
What?
Would you be asking me this if he was alive?
No!
Like,
The way people act,
he's so fucking for real.
like, that is such a weird question.
Like,
No,
I
because
can
they wouldn't even care to ask that if he was alive.
no. And I can understand if the question was like, oh, like, are you going to honor your brother? Like, blah, blah, blah. And like, in July, I had no idea. I was like, I just got engaged and then it's my birthday and then I go to camp. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm booked. I'm busy. I gotta go to Georgia and sweat. Like, I don't know. We do have air conditioning though. It's very nice.
It's crazy.
Um, it's if we didn't have air conditioning in the bunks, I would cook from the inside out.
We don't have air conditioning at PA.
There's air conditioning at family camp. Um,
Which I'm coming to.
plug for family camp. Um, but yeah, so like that was like the question people were asking me, and I was like, I don't know, guys. He probably wouldn't have wanted a traditional wedding. Mm.
Fair.
Oh,
But
another
also, why is that relevant? I just don't get it.
not relevant. Another thing we're doing is we're getting married, like basically on the water. Um, and like the beach was always a really special place for my family. My parents and I actually have matching lifeguard chair tattoos.
Oh, I love
And it
that.
was done from a photo of my brother sitting in the lifeguard chair, but then the tattoo artist like retconned him out of it, basically. Because I was like, I don't need like a
That's
face
yeah.
memorial tattoo on my shoulder. That's like really heavy handed.
When did you get it?
We got it Thanksgiving 2022.
Mhm.
So like less than 6 months after he died. So my parents live on the Cape and we were just like, we cannot go places for Thanksgiving this year. Like, I have a really big extended family, and I was like, was telling my parents, I was like, I simply can't do this.
Right.
So we just went, it was just me and my parents and my partner, and we're lucky because he's British and I'm Jewish, so it makes the Thanksgiving Christmas thing like super easy.
That is amazing.
It's incredible. And so yeah, we just like had Thanksgiving on the Cape, and then we went, I think, the Saturday after Thanksgiving and got our little matching tattoos.
I love that so much.
And Will went to the CVS and got us all our gold dial soap to wash them with. And then I got another tattoo for my brother last February around his birthday.
Mm-hmm. When's his birthday?
His birthday's February 7th, so he died one day after his half birthday.
Wait, that's so funny. Like the crossover.
Oh my God, I don't even think I've said his name.
Jacob.
Oh, okay, I did. Oh God, I was like, that would be so bad.
No, Jacob. Of course.
Okay, guys.
Wait, that's so funny because my brother's birthday's in February, and then our dad died in August of melanoma. I'm like, okay, weird crossover here.
Like, halfway mark. It's funny because one of my best friends, her birthday is also February 7th.
No way.
And so,
how do you celebrate his birthday?
so last year I had a really beautiful dinner. My partner was out of town for a work trip. So two of my friends from high school live in the area, and one of them threw like a really beautiful dinner party for the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really nice. And we just like talked and told stories about him and like drank an outrageous amount of wine.
As you should.
Yeah. I just like on his birthday, I try to like tell stories and like bring up pictures and all of that stuff. And then I'll watch The Wizard of Oz.
I love it. I love how much you talk about your brother. Like your ability to talk about him if he's still alive is incredible. And like, I don't even know if you probably realize you do it, but I think so many people, it's too sad to talk about that person, but like he feels so alive even in talking to you for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's part of my responsibility as his sister is to like, his worst fear of his entire life was feeling irrelevant and forgotten. Like, oh my God, now I'm gonna cry. That was like always something he was so afraid of. And like, even when he was like so sick and so miserable, and like all he wanted to do was like not even like exist anymore, because the last few weeks were really, really tough, and he was so afraid. He was just so afraid. He was afraid of like this sense of oblivion. I think we all are.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing I can do as his older sister, which is like always your job as an older sister, is to keep your siblings as safe as possible. And talking about him like he is a person and not a mythic being or some sad like kid who died of cancer is to talk about the normal stuff. And just like, he's such like a constant part of my life. And I'm really grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful that like we got 10 more years than we were supposed to. And I'm like thinking about it all the time, but it's really interesting because the last book that he ever gave me was the book How to Stop Time. And I was like, fuck. Which is by the guy who wrote The Midnight Library.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just never obviously been able to read it because like I can't not. But I have it on my shelf, and I think about that a lot because it's like he stopped, like time stopped for him, but like I want people to still talk about him and remember him. And when I get the most upset about him being dead is when people like almost retcon life, like he wasn't there. Or like they tell stories like from like our childhood and growing up. Like I have like extended family who's done this, and they just kind of omit him from these stories. And I'm sure this is a super common experience, and I hope someone who's listening to this is like, oh my God, like this happens to me. Like, no, you're not alone. Know that it's shitty. My God, I'm like in therapy right now.
No, thank you for
Um,
sharing and being so open. I feel so
yeah.
lucky to learn about him and hear all this.
Yeah, like know that like people retconning your person out of their stories is due to their own discomfort
Mhm.
and not the kind of person that they were.
100%. And I think sometimes it's a burden, but also a privilege to get to carry their story. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's hard is when their life gets cut short, like, especially no one should die at 24 years old,
Mhm.
that we get to experience all these joys. We get to experience all this life. And all we should do and can do is talk about them as if they were a person because they were, but so many people don't talk about it in that way. That's the only way they live. And I think that's why like community and connection is so special, especially with people who get it, because it's easy to talk about. Like I feel like my dad's most alive in conversations like this. In my everyday life, unfortunately, like Jay Zeger doesn't live in the way I want him to. But the second I start talking about him, like the man's alive. Well, let me tell
Yeah.
you.
And I mean, he created like the ability to have this like community and connection that like we're all sharing in this podcast.
Mhm.
Whenever I like go on Spotify at work and I put it on and people are like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
Don't tell them all to follow and like and
It's like follow him on TikTok.
no, I love that you listen though. And like I think that's the whole point of this. Like even though for you this might be like an emotion that you've gotten to like work through in therapy or figured out, like someone's gonna listen to that and be like, well, holy shit, I didn't realize that that's what was happening, but like, damn, it is. And that
Mhm.
sucks. And hearing someone else say it, even if you know you're not crazy, like feelings suck sometimes and they make you feel insane.
Yeah, grief sucks.
No, it's really bad. And like we're fun,
I got
happy
this
people, but
sweatshirt.
like my God, does it fucking suck.
It's so terrible. And it just like shows up when you least expect it too, which is like not ideal.
No.
I was like at the Spirit, like the women's soccer quarterfinals last weekend in DC, and I'm like started crying. And my friend who comes to camp was like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? And I was like, I just think Jacob would have loved all the lesbians. I'm just like crying over this lesbian community because my brother would have loved it so much. He- So like I can't listen to that one song in Hamilton that's like, why do you write like you're running out of time?
Yep.
Because like it makes me cry.
Fair.
As it does. Because like and I was talking to my mom about this. It's like truly how the man lived his life. It was like he was always doing so much all the time. And I think in my heart of hearts, he knew that like something wasn't right with like when he was sick when he was younger and now that he's older, but or when he was older. Um, but like he wrote like notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of stuff. He did this like weird project during COVID where he just like found this like Time magazine article of like the best 100 albums of all time and listened to them all alphabetically in order and ranked them. What a weird thing to like feel necessary to do.
That's wild, but I love that.
Like he wrote a ton of plays and he was so active in everything and he like he squeezed an entire life out of 24 years.
I was gonna say he lived. And I
Yeah,
think what a beautiful like lesson to take away that like that's how we should all live our life.
like the last play he ever wrote was called Carry On and it was like about these two flies on top of a human carcass talking about the meaning of life. Like,
Do you ever consider like trying to like publish his art?
Um, his like actual physical art is quite disturbing. I'm gonna be for real. He unfortunately he struggled with depression. He struggled with mental illness, as like I feel many people who survive childhood cancer do.
Yeah.
Um, but his plays, we are working on something. My parents and I are like
That's so wonderful. I was gonna
working
say
on
I
a
want to
thing.
like read his art.
Yeah, we're working on a thing. His one of his best friends was had a play in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival last year. So we're working with her to see if we can kind of like figure out how to like posthumously submit something, and like because she now has an in with it. You might have seen her on TikTok. She's the girl who hooked her fiance up to the period pain simulator on stage.
I actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my brother's best friend, and also like he and then the fiance Tommy, they all worked and lived together.
And it's wonderful.
But they do shows in New York. It's great.
Oh my God, I'll have to go see them.
But so yeah, we have some stuff kind of like in the works on that, and then my parents also have like a scholarship for Weston Drama Workshop, which is a like community summer theater program in Weston that my brother was a huge part of. So now there's a scholarship for that under his name, and trying to like not do everything at once that I want to do, because I want to make sure his legacy like
Carries on.
continues and like there's ways to like grow it. But yeah, there are plans for like his plays and his written work for sure.
I love that so much. I can't wait to read it. He truly lives.
Yeah.
I think like what you were just saying about like how he lived is so special and something we can all take. And I ask everyone this kind of at the end, but I feel like I know him and like maybe what you'll say, but I'm so curious as to what's the loudest lesson that he left behind.
I think the loudest lesson he left behind was like, why are you embarrassed to do something that you love to do? Like, you should do it.
That's it. Like, I love that. Like, he seemed like he was so authentically himself, and I think that's something we could all be.
He worked at a senior care center cafeteria during COVID, which is also at an IHOP. And he would post these like TikToks of him doing like Fosse high kicks like in the bathroom, like he was bald, but like in his hairnet. And just like he was like, I think it's funny, so I'm gonna put it on the internet. Like, I don't care what anybody else thinks.
We shouldn't care what anyone else thinks.
I like post my needlepoint stuff on the internet all the time. And
As
I think
you should.
If I get like 4 likes, then like cool, 4 people looked at it. I don't care.
Exactly.
I like it. But yeah.
I love that. Putting yourself out there is the scariest thing.
Oh, it's horrifying. Especially when you spend your week with like a bunch of 16-year-olds who are doing 6'7", and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Literally 6'7". Explain it to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, this has been so special. And like, one, getting to know you, but getting to know your brother. Like, you don't need to hear it from me, but I truly don't know if I've ever talked to someone who talks about their person in a way that allows them to live. Like, your brother is so alive. And that is, no, but like truly, like, I don't know if I've ever met someone who talks about their person in this way. And like, yeah, it's been 3.5 years, but like that's still really recent. And your ability he lives, like, and I'm saying that over and over, but there's no other way to say him. Like, I know who Jacob was, and I've talked to you for an hour.
Yeah. And that's my goal. That's my goal with like talking about my brother and talking about grief and being able to empower people to talk about their person. Mm-hmm. And not just about how they died, but more importantly, how they lived.
Yeah. Grief is about how they die, but to your point, it's how they lived.
Yeah.
I love it. You're so special, and I like loved getting to know you and like talking about him, and I feel like you've really helped anyone that was listening. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for creating this community, because I feel like it's so hard to like talk about it, but
it is. And like, I want people to either A, feel comfortable talking about it, or if they can't, listen to someone who says something that they resonate with.
Yeah.
And also like for non-grievers, like they should listen and understand what it is like, and that we're all going to experience it. And like, I don't know, I just like, it just started, and like, it's, as we were saying, scary to put yourself out there, but like, I am really excited about like what I could like build with it. And like, I really want to lean into it. And I think too, like, community in general, and like, there's grief in so many ways, like, and I think we can just like do good things, because grief makes us more empathetic, whether we ask for it or not.
Yeah, sure does.
Sure does. Oh my God, thank you again. I like loved this.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is so wonderful. And
Mm.
you and Jacob are special. Not that you need some like random girl to tell you.
No, it's still nice. I like a compliment.
There anything else that like you want to say like about your brother, about your experience, just like about anything that you think would help you, that he'd want you to say, that would help someone else?
Um, I think just like if people try to like downplay, like, yes, it's been 3.5 years, so it's been like, or 3.25. So like a short time, but also not a lot, like a long time simultaneously. Like sometimes it feels like people are waiting for you to get over your grief and like you don't. And it's like it's not like you like go through the 5 stages of grief and you're like done now, because that's actually not for alive people. Fun fact. Um, it is for people who are actively dying. Those are the 5 stages
Yep.
of grief. Not for
Yep.
not for us. We didn't get a little special plan. So I think just yeah, the general public just assumes that like, oh, you're gonna like go through this and then you're gonna be fine. And like there are days you're gonna feel great. And there are days that you like have to wear the weighted vest. And I think it's like so important to lean on your community during that. Like I have a group chat from camp called Sad Queers. And like whenever we're having like a kind of a bummer day, like it's just like you can reach out to them. And it's like so important, I think, to find the people who are there for you, like when you're having a great grief day and like when you're having a bad grief day.
I love that. That's so beautiful and so special. That's the point of all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing with me. And like I feel so lucky to get to learn your story and Jacob's story.
thank you so much, Emma. I really appreciate that.